Good morning, fellas. I hope you're doing very well today. My name is Janek the Arts, and today we're finally doing a tutorial. After so long, I am finally sitting down and doing something classic for you guys. So today we're going to be learning how to draw fast-moving objects or how to draw motion blur, however you want to call it. And two things before we start the video. First of all, I am very sorry that I have been really slow with my upload schedule lately. There has been a lot of stuff coming up in my personal life, and I just couldn't really keep up with you guys and everything that has been coming. School, couple of trips, and my family stuff. So I am very sorry for that. I will make sure to reset, let's say, my schedule right now, and I will make sure to post more videos when I can because the summer vacations are coming, so I will probably have more time. And secondly, thank you so much for the recent support on the channel, and let's get right into the video. So the first thing that we are going to be drawing is someone punching. It's like, a fist that is going in some direction. Let's say this one. And how we're going to do that? First of all, we need to draw a fist. And this is like a quick little tip on drawing hands and arms. If you're drawing anything really, make sure to have a reference. I'm not saying that, when you draw something that you, for example, have been studying for like a very long time, you need to draw a reference. But when you do something that you don't really remember, or you don't really have a clear idea of how it looks or something, or you don't even know how to draw, always have a reference. It is very helpful. And the second tip, always break your drawings into small little shapes like I am doing right now. Don't draw everything from one single stroke because it will look much better if you just focus on breaking the sketch down to just a couple of smaller lines. So let's just first draw the fist. Okay, so we have a simple fist, and I know this doesn't look the best, but this is just a reference drawing. We aren't professionals, of course. And now, how do we make that fist look as if it's moving in this direction? Because right now it just looks like it's static and it isn't really moving. So the best way that we can do this is just by drawing these small little lines. This will really enhance your effect of something moving. My tip for doing those lines is that the lines is going to be less visible, more transparent in the opposite direction of it moving. So for example, like here, we see that the fist is going this way, so the lines is going to look like this, This is the point where it is the darkest, and here is the point where it is the most transparent. So it will look something like this, more professionally, and you can apply this either the entire drawing. So for example, I'm going to draw it a bit here, as well as here and maybe here also. We can also erase this part a bit so that we can actually see that here is also the part where it is actually moving. And another tip, the part where it is moving, so let's say this arm is going in the left direction, so in the leftmost part of the arm, it is going to be moving the most. So you can see that I'm drawing bigger amount of lines here than, for example, here, since the arm is moving in this direction. So we are going to be seeing more lines here than here. And you can draw them on basically every edge, a bit here, so that it also looks like the arm is moving with it, somewhere a bit here. And also remember that the direction of your lines can also depend on where you're actually drawing them. So for example, if your arm is going this way, you're obviously going to have the lines going this way also. But if your direction is going, for example, somewhere like this, then your lines would be like that. We're going to draw a couple of more examples later on, but let's first of all finish this so we can actually see the finished product. Right, and here is the first example. So as you can see, we have this fist, and here is the distribution where the lines are most common. So you can see that this is the place that I draw the most lines because it is going in this direction. So if you actually see photos of people actually punching something or moving their hand, you can see that the arm is going to be the place when you can see it the most. If you, for example, move your arm up and down like this and like this, somewhere like so, and you're going to see that this part is going to be the most blurry and this part is going to be the clearest. We're going to draw this example in a second, but let me just finish here. So this is the first example, and let's get on to the next one. Okay, and now we're going to draw this example that I just told about earlier, and for that we're going to draw the whole arm this time. So first of all, let's just break this down into a couple of shapes. So the forearm, and this is going to be bicep, let's say, here, and this is going to be the hand. Okay, and now here again, I know this doesn't look the best, but you know, we are just practicing. I don't know how to draw hands, I'm sorry. And this time we're going to actually make this example that this arm is going like this way and this way, like it's swinging, let's say. And how do we draw that? So, if your arm is swinging downwards like this, then your lines will go in this direction. And, like I said, the thing is that when you're swinging your arm, this part of your entire arm structure is going to be the fastest, so it's going to be the most blurry. And this part, which is the joint that's connected to the joint that is going to be connected to your chest, then this part is going to be the clearest. And now, let's just finish the joint up by doing these lines like here, and also here as well. So like I said, this is going to be the part where the lines are going to be the most common, and it's going to be the most of them. So, and here also some of them. And here is going to be the least of amount of them. So we're going to draw them a bit less clear. You can also go out of the line, as you can see as I'm doing here. And you don't have to really connect your lines to anything. It still looks pretty nice. Okay, so here is the finished product. And like I said, here is the most, let's say, dense area of the lines that I did. And here is the least dense. Actually, we can add some more a bit here and here. Okay, and now this looks nice. So this is the first example. We have this arm that is drawn as if it's going downwards. But what about upwards? I think you can already guess how I'm going to draw this, but I'm going to show this example and then we're going to go to the last thing. Okay, so we have the same arm, and now let's draw it so it's going in this direction. So now the same thing, the lines are going to be the most apparent here. Can go a bit off the guides, like so. Here also some of them. And also remember, you can draw those lines in different sizes. So for example, don't just do every single line same shape, same length, because that's going to look very boring and not very professional. You can do them in any direction, really. In any length, I'm sorry. Okay, so that looks nice, but we can also make it look even better by erasing the part where the lines are the most apparent. So here you can see that I'm erasing this part of the arm actually. And I am doing that because even you can see it in pictures that when you move an object fast enough, then the part of it where it moves the fastest isn't going to be seen that much. So here is the finished product, and I know this looks a bit unorganized and stuff like that, but you know, we are professionals, like I always say, we are just learning, so yeah. Here's the finished product, and let's go on to the last part of this video. Okay, and now that we know how to draw objects coming from left to right, up and down, but how do you, for example, draw an object that is coming towards you? So if you, for example, see a fist that is someone, let's say in a comic book, someone is going to punch you, then it isn't going to look the same as if you're going to see the lines going in this direction. So how do you actually draw that? First of all, obviously we need to start with a reference to what we're actually doing. Okay, so we have a simple fist, and now how do we make it look as if it's going straight at us? So, the easiest way to make this, it doesn't really look that realistic, so if you're aiming for doing that look real, then you shouldn't really use that method, but it is still good to know. You can use just the very basic generic speed lines that you see all over in comic books. So, you can determine the guidelines by just first of all drawing the circle around your object that you want to draw the guidelines around, and then making random guidelines on where your speed lines are going to end. So let's say we want the boundaries to be somewhere like here. And now let's just do the process of actually drawing those speed lines, and notice how I am kind of following this circle. So consider your speed lines as somewhat of, let's say, point connection. So your speed lines are going to be connecting, let's say, to the center of the guide circle that you just drew. So you can see that I am drawing these ones that are, and they kind of are bending. And this is because we are drawing them as if they are connected to this circle that we just did a second ago. And if you do the guidelines that you want to draw and want to have for this drawing and this method, then remember to actually stay and stick to them. Because as you can see, I just went a little bit off the line, but that's a mistake that can be fixed pretty easily. So let's just ignore that for a second. And yeah, this is the easiest way to draw an object that is coming towards you. And here it is. I know it looks a bit bad, so that is okay, since this is just a little sketch, and I'm going to actually draw it a bit more professionally at the end of the video, so let's wait for that. And this is the easiest way to actually do this, but we can enhance it a bit and make it look a little bit more professional by also doing the speed lines on the object itself. And this time, I am not following guidelines or any circle or anything like that. I am following perspective. And notice that, let's say here, the speed lines are going in this direction, and it is because, you know, the fist is going towards us, so our point of view is going to be somewhere here. So the lines are going to go in this direction. Here you won't really see them, but we can draw the outline of them, like somewhere right here. And here we can also do that. And in the borders of the fingers, we can just basically do them like this. Okay, so this is it. And now that we know how to draw moving objects up and down, left, right, and towards, let's do one final drawing for the video. Okay, and now we are just going to basically combine all of our knowledge that we had in this video. So yeah, enjoy the time lapse. Okay, and here is the finished product. So as you can see, I did the speed line that I just showed you, and I also did the lines at the actual fist, so it looks a little bit better. So I think this concludes our today's tutorial. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and also make sure to leave out ideas for future videos in the comments section. Again, I am a bit sorry for the slow upload schedule, but I am going to fix that in the coming weeks, so the videos I'm going to resume. So yeah, Yannick is out. Peace.